Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Tristan Barrocks here, the digital storyteller, and I'm super excited that you're joining me for another episode of Cinecut, where we will be talking about how to get the best interviews possible. You ready? Let's go! Woo! The first tip for getting dope, amazing interviews is by doing your research. Now, I know this seems like a very straightforward point, but it's really important to do your research on your subject. So if you are filming a couple and you want to talk about their love story, you may want to take some time to really research their background, their history, their family history. If you are interviewing a keynote speaker or doing a historical documentary on historical figures, you have to do your research before you start approaching anybody for an interview. It just allows you to have a great starting point or foundation so that you can really home in on the questions and the answers that you anticipate that you need to get in order to shape the story that you're trying to tell. The other reason why research is really important is because it allows you to gain different perspectives. You may have come in with a certain perspective on a person or on an issue or on a topic that may not necessarily be the only perspective that can yield great results for you. For example, let's say you're doing a biography on P. Diddy and you have a certain perspective on who P. Diddy is. Well, that can actually hinder the way that you approach the material based on the fact that you have a certain biases, whether it's positive or negative. So it's really important for you to be able to gather other additional information through research before you go ahead into an interview so that you'll be prepared for other perspectives on this particular person or particular topic. The second way of getting dope interviews is by doing pre-interviews. Now, what I mean by pre-interviews is simply put, having a conversation before you actually have the recorded conversation with the person that you're interviewing. Now, for instance, if you're interviewing a doctor, a lawyer, an investor, and you want to get the best out of them, the first thing that you want to do is you kind of want to get an understanding or an idea of their personality and how they might respond to certain questions that you ask. In addition to that, doing a pre-interview also allows you to understand what areas of the conversation the person would like to go in and what areas of the conversation are kind of off limits. And it starts to allow you to understand the process of that person's thinking and the way that they want to approach the topic and some of the things that they want to speak on when it pertains to that particular topic. It also forces you to understand whether or not this person will look good, act good, and perform on camera. When I mean perform, are they really uncomfortable when they're talking to you? Because if they're uncomfortable talking to you, they're gonna probably be more uncomfortable on camera. Are they really loud and boisterous? Do they talk too much? Do they get distracted very easily? It will prepare you for all of the unknowns before you hit record on the camera. The third tip for getting dope interviews is build a rapport with the client or with the interviewee. Building a rapport is just being able to build chemistry and a level of comfort with the person that you're interviewing. Imagine coming into an interview, not knowing who the person is that's interviewing you, not knowing what it's for, not knowing what the questions are that are going to be asked, where it's going to land in terms of where it's going to be shown, and just having a sense of a lot of questions. That's not going to make you feel like being very open and transparent, is it? So when you are about to interview somebody, you want them to feel as comfortable as possible. You want them to feel like you're their best friend or you're their close colleague or close confidant so that they're able to feel a level of trust, and so they're also able to be transparent with you and honest with you. People want to watch interviews where people are being honest and authentic and likable, and that's something that doesn't just come natural for everybody. That's a level of rapport that has to be built throughout the course of your interactions with that person that you're interviewing. So one of the things that I like to do is I love being able to have pre-interviews as well as pre-conversations with the person that I'm interviewing. Maybe over dinner, maybe at their home, maybe over the phone, but it allows me to really see if they're humorous, if they're a little bit drier, or if they're a little bit more stoic. And then from there, I try to be as transparent as possible as I can be with the person that I'm interviewing so that they understand that they can trust me and they know that they're in good hands. The fourth way that you can capture dope interviews is by choosing the right location. I can't stress this enough. You always want to find a location that will allow for the person that you're interviewing to feel as comfortable as possible. Because when they're comfortable, you're comfortable, and you will get the best out of them. Just because you have a cool location in mind, it may not be the best location for interviewing that person. When you choose a meaningful location to the person that you're interviewing, it allows them to just let down their hair and feel confident in some of the things that they're sharing with you. Not only that, it also allows you to know that they're in a space where they don't feel like they have to hide behind any sort of personality, or they have to hide behind any sort of ideas of what people think they are or who they are. The other thing about choosing a location, you want to choose a location that has great sound or is great for recording sound. So you don't want something that has a lot of traffic, a lot of noise, a lot of people running back and forth and creating additional distractions for the person that you're interviewing. You want to create an environment that is bulletproof when it comes to getting the interview right the first time, because you may not be able to go back and get that person. That person may be busy. They may not want to do the interview again. You may actually not be able to book that location again. So there are a lot of different variables in terms of choosing a location, but the most important one is you have to choose a location that makes the person you're interviewing feel safe and feel secure in that space. The fifth tip for getting dope interviews is allow for breathing room. Now, what I mean by allowing for breathing room is when you're interviewing somebody, you may have a set of questions that you want to ask them, but always have space or create time to find the questions within the questions. And what I mean by that is sometimes the person that you're interviewing may go on a tangent. They may tell you something totally different than they may have told you in the past, or it might open up a new door for you. Explore that door. Explore what they meant by a certain phrase or a certain saying or a certain idea that they were sharing with you. Allow them to be able to have the flexibility to tell the story or tell their story from their perspective. Allow for space to be able to change and pivot directions right in the middle of an interview, because that might be the very point or the very moment when you get the material that you need to tell the story in a powerful and impactful way. And I see this all the time with a lot of storytellers. They're trying to tell a story from a very focused and specific perspective, but the best way to film an interview is to allow the interview to happen naturally, not forced and not manipulated by the person that's interviewing. Don't be so beholden to the end goal that you forget about being present in the moment and understanding that the valuable information that you get in that moment may actually elevate the end goal. Well, that ends another episode of Cinecut with your host, me, Tristan Barrocks. I hope you learned something and you had fun too. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I would love to hear any of your questions or comments, so please comment below. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and stay creative. Peace. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel, because it is creating dope content that I hope is helping you become a dope digital storyteller. Until the next time, have a wonderful day. Peace.